Have you ever felt completely sure about something, only to find out later you were completely wrong? You know that strange, sinking feeling? That shock, that embarrassment, that heavy, quiet realization that you weren't just a little off, you were completely lost and didn't even know it. What if the part of you that feels the most certain is actually the part that's furthest from the truth? There's a silent trap hidden inside your mind, one that rewards you for false clarity, punishes you for doubt, and blinds you from the depths of reality. If you don't see it, it will quietly run your entire life. Imagine walking through a thick fog, utterly convinced you're navigating perfectly. Your pace quickens, your confidence grows, you feel unstoppable, until you walk straight off a cliff you never saw coming. That's what false confidence feels like. It's not stupidity. It's not ignorance. It's a wound, a deep, invisible scar formed by a world that shames uncertainty and worships the performance of knowing. From the moment we're young, we're rewarded not for curiosity, but for answers. Not for humility, but for bravado. Raise your hand, speak with conviction, win the approval of teachers, parents, peers. But under that polished performance, fear. Fear of being seen as weak, fear of being wrong, fear of not being enough. And so we construct elaborate defenses around our fragile egos. We armor ourselves with false certainty, even when deep down we're trembling inside. Today we go beyond the surface. Today we journey into why false certainty controls us and how to finally, courageously break free. False confidence doesn't come from strength. It's born from fear. In our earliest moments of awareness, we absorb a dangerous message. Certainty equals safety. Imagine a small child raising their hand in class, trembling, unsure, and being laughed at for getting the answer wrong. Now imagine that child deciding, deep in their unconscious mind, never again will I show my uncertainty. And so begins the great performance. We memorize not just facts, but how to look certain, sound certain, act certain. We learn to sprint through life, terrified that if we ever stop to question, the world will see our weakness. We don't become confident. We become terrified actors trapped in costumes of knowing. But what happens when you spend your whole life running from your own fear? Look around. Who wins in debates? Who climbs the highest ladders in business, politics, media? It's rarely the most thoughtful, the most careful, the most nuanced. It's the loudest, the most certain, the ones who plant a flag, even if it's planted on sand. Society mistakes loudness for wisdom, and in doing so, we create a dangerous culture, where the first to speak is assumed the wisest, where nuance is punished, where critical thinking is drowned by slogans and sound bites. And so the illusion grows stronger. The world doesn't teach us to be right. It teaches us to sound right. And when sounding right becomes more important than being right, the cracks start to show. It sounds unbelievable. MacArthur Wheeler truly believed that rubbing lemon juice on his face would render him invisible to security cameras. With childlike confidence, he walked into not one, but two banks in broad daylight, grinning, completely convinced he was invisible. When police showed him the security footage, he was dumbfounded. "But I wore the juice," he muttered. We laugh at his story, but secretly, it's a mirror. Because every one of us walks through life with invisible lemon juice moments. Blind spots so obvious to others, yet invisible to us. Our certainty doesn't protect us. It betrays us. And it gets even stranger when you realize just how common this phenomenon truly is. Here's the paradox. The more you learn, the less certain you become. True intelligence doesn't feel like towering certainty. It feels like standing on the shore of an endless ocean, realizing you've barely dipped your toes in. The people who know the most are often the quietest, not because they lack answers, but because they deeply understand how vast the unknown truly is. Socrates, one of history's greatest minds, famously said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." Real wisdom humbles you. It strips away the need to perform. It teaches you that the greatest strength is being willing to say, "I don't know yet." And the journey doesn't end there. there's a terrifying place on the map of human learning, Mount Stupid. This is the peak where someone has learned just enough to think they understand everything, but not enough to realize how little they actually know. It's the territory of overconfident beginners, of instant experts, of dangerous leaders who mistake loud certainty for deep competence. At the summit of Mount Stupid, you feel invincible, until you don't. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Because the fall from Mount Stupid is brutal and necessary. Eventually, reality punches through the illusion. The cracks grow too wide, the mistakes too costly, and you tumble down into the valley of despair. This is the dark night of the soul, the painful reckoning with your own limitations. Many never recover. They cling to denial, blame others, or retreat into cynicism. But those who survive this valley, they begin something far greater. Because true mastery isn't born at the peak, it's born in the valley. From the valley of despair, a new path emerges. The slow, humble, patient climb toward true competence. This is the slope of enlightenment. Here you rebuild your confidence, not on illusion, but on reality. You realize that growth isn't flashy, it's slow, it's painful, it's beautiful. You learn to ask better questions, to sit with uncertainty, to endure the discomfort of not knowing, and still move forward. And as you climb, real strength is born. The kind of strength that doesn't need to shout, the kind of wisdom that doesn't fear being questioned. But modern life has other ideas. Social media shatters the slow climb. Algorithms reward certainty, reward outrage, reward instant answers. The loudest opinions are amplified. Careful thought is buried. In the endless scroll, it's easy to confuse entertainment for information, easy to mistake familiar voices for true understanding. We build echo chambers. We marinate in confirmation bias. We forget how to wonder, how to question. And just when you think you've escaped the illusion, it pulls you back in. Unless you choose a different path, there is a rare, precious skill, one that can cut through the noise like a blade. The courage to say, I don't know. I might be wrong. Let me learn more. It's not weakness, it's power. Because when you're not enslaved by needing to appear right, you're free to actually become wiser. In a world drunk on certainty, humility is revolutionary, and it unlocks the greatest freedom of all. When you let go of false certainty, a miracle happens. You no longer have to defend illusions. You no longer have to pretend. You can listen, truly listen. You can learn, truly learn. You can evolve freely, joyfully. True confidence isn't rigid. It's fluid, curious, alive. And it's only by embracing not knowing that you truly begin to grow. Soft ambient music fades, darker background visuals return, slow, deliberate voice. Before you leave this journey today, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, where in my life am I walking through the fog, thinking I see clearly? Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a belief about yourself. Maybe it's a fear you haven't dared to confront. You are not broken for having blind spots. You are not weak for questioning yourself. You are courageous for daring to look. The Dunning-Kruger Effect isn't just about silly internet arguments. It's about the secret prisons we live inside. But once you see the bars, you can break them. You are holding a small lantern in a vast dark forest, and you have a choice. Cling to the tiny patch of ground you can see, or step into the unknown. Those who cling may feel safe, but those who step forward, they discover vast, astonishing worlds they never knew existed. They don't find certainty, they find something infinitely greater. The strength to keep walking, even into mystery. That is what true wisdom feels like. Because the real danger isn't being wrong, it's refusing to grow. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share your thoughts in the comments below.